Okay, you're at the Watchman Way. June 21st, 2020. Um, Calling for a boycott of wearing mask. Don't do it. Don't wear your mask anymore. If the businesses won't let you come in because you're not wearing a mask, go to another business. Last night, I had the exact same thing happen to me. Um, went into a restaurant. Oh, can't come in without a mask. Okay, see ya. Went down the street, went into a restaurant without a mask. Had breakfast or lunch this afternoon. Same thing. Masks are required now. Employees were wearing masks, but the customers didn't have to. Um, Time to shut this crap down. The Surgeon General of the United States says don't wear a mask. The CDC, run by Bill Gates, says wear a mask. So, what do you think makes more sense? And why do you think they want you to continue to wear a mask? Number one, I think it's part of a satanic ritual. You can't breathe, that whole bull crap that the Satanists are trying to push here. But more importantly, it's unhealthy. You're breathing your own CO2. And there's no scientific evidence whatsoever that the mask actually help. They don't help. They make it more likely that you're going to get sick, and that's what they want. We got to quit acting like sheep. Um, Time to ask, do you want to be a lion or a lamb? God is looking for warriors. Warriors don't cower. Warriors don't worry how they're going to look to their friends. Warriors do the right thing. Warriors stand up and fight. And it's time to put this bullshit to rest. No more mask. No more Antifa controlling the streets. It's time for the patriots to step up and do our jobs. All over America, towns, especially rural towns, when they hear Antifa's coming, they line the streets with their guns. Antifa gets back on the bus and moves along. We need to take back our streets. Don't put up with this shit anymore. You hear they're coming to your town, start calling your friends. It's time to stand up for the values that our founders built, designed our country on. We don't get intimidated. We don't run. We don't hide. We are in the middle of the last battle between good and evil. Are you going to stand up or are you going to cower? Are you going to run and hide? Or are you going to turn and fight? I'm going to fight. America's going to fight. Where are you going to be? I know where the watchmen are going to be. Carry your guns. Don't be afraid to use them if your life depends on it. Report after report after report are showing patriots standing up and defending themselves and shooting. This is how we end this thing. We don't need the National Guard. We don't need the Marines. We don't need the SEALs. We need patriots and Christians to stand up, to exercise our right to defend ourselves and our country. If the police aren't going to do it, if the governors aren't going to do it, if the mayors aren't going to do it, we need to do it. This is our country. It's not their country. It's not the politicians' country. It's not Antifa's country. It's not George Soros's country. It's not Bill Gates' country. It's not Dr. Fauci's country. This is our country. Time to put this bullshit to rest. Time to stand up like Americans, like we always do when we are faced with a challenge. Every single time in our history that we've been faced with something like this, we stepped up. And we're going to step up this time. Don't weaken. It's time to be bold. Be bold. I mean, these guys, go look at the history of what Hitler did in Germany in the 30s. This is an exact duplicate of their blueprint. Is that what you want? Not going to happen here, guys. Not going to happen. The only question is, where are you going to end up on this thing? What side are you going to end up on? Lion or a lamb? It's your choice. And I just, how are people not looking at what's going on and seeing the exact same things that I saw, well, God showed me almost 6 years ago? The economy is coming down. The swamp is draining. Satanic pedophiles are being exposed and will be eradicated. Physical silver and Litecoin will protect us from this financial devastation that's coming. We have the blueprint. God gave us the blueprint to not only survive this, but to thrive through it and through the other side. Extra food, extra water, medical supplies, ammo, physical silver, and Litecoin. If you have those things, you will thrive through what's coming. Everything that's coming is for the betterment of mankind. I don't believe anybody in America is going to starve. Do you want your family to suffer? That's the question. Just because you're not going to starve doesn't mean you're not going to suffer. Because I think there will be probably some food shortages. I think that the stores, and like I said, nobody's going to starve in America. I think President Trump's on top of that. But that doesn't mean you're going to eat every day. If you don't eat every day, it's your fault. Because if you're prepared, you will eat every day. Your family won't suffer. They won't suffer on the other side of this. When everybody's broke, and again, you're probably not going to starve, but would you rather have assets to give your family a jump start in what's coming next? Or you want to struggle like everybody else? If you're listening to God's messages, you're going to buy physical silver and Litecoin, and you're going to thrive on the other side of this. You're going to pay cash for a house. And anything else you want. I mean, one Litecoin today, I didn't even look. It's under $50. Some analysts believe by 2024, Litecoin is going to be worth $3 million a piece. Cryptocurrencies are the future of money. They make banks obsolete. Litecoin, I believe, is going to be the preeminent premium cryptocurrency, surpassing Bitcoin, I believe, in price eventually. And when you run the numbers, I think a Bitcoin now is worth around $9,000, somewhere in that neighborhood. Okay, $9,000, one Bitcoin. The same analyst that said Litecoin will be worth $3 million is saying Bitcoin will be worth $12 million in 4 years. Do the math. You don't want to buy any Bitcoin because Litecoin, again, how many Litecoin can you buy for $9,000? You're 100 times better off having Litecoin than Bitcoin when you run the numbers. I believe Litecoin is probably going to have the biggest return on investment of any asset in history. The same thing you saw happen to toilet paper is going to happen on a much larger scale because everybody in the world is going to realize this at the same time. A world of 7.5 billion people is going to realize they need assets outside the system. And what does that mean? What are assets outside the system? It means precious metals and cryptocurrencies are going to be the two things that pay off the most. You know, you could say jewelry, yeah, it's going to be okay. You could say art. I'm not so sure about that. The big return on investment is going to come from cryptocurrencies and precious metals. Silver is going to outperform gold at least 10 times. Litecoin is going to outperform Bitcoin way more than that, probably 100 times. God gave us a blueprint to thrive through this. And the flip side is you could just leave your money in the bank and lose it. Because those are your options. Take your money out of the bank, bonds, stocks, 401ks, anything you can, and invest it in physical silver and Litecoin. Or lose it. Because all paper assets, when this is all done, are going to go to zero. There is a slight chance, if we get Nasara, look it up, I'm not going to go into it right now, that pension funds could be saved. It's a humanitarian financial program. Again, look it up. I'm 50-50. If it happens, it's icing on the cake. If it doesn't happen and you have physical silver and Litecoin, it doesn't make any difference if it happens or not. Because you're going to be protected. Your family's going to be protected. Not just protected, but given a huge jump start over everyone else. I mean, everything else, prices are going to collapse. Real estate, anything you want. Cars, boats, whatever you want. Property. Property values are going to go down 80% over the next couple of years. You know, all of this phony money, all this quantitative easing, all this money printing created these bubbles. You know, real estate prices, way overpriced. Stock prices, way overpriced. I mean, there are millions of brand new cars parked around the country. Millions. Some of them 5, 6, 7 years old that have been parked because they can't sell them. And they don't want to discount them because it's going to destroy the car industry. Well, guess what? It's destroyed. You're going to be able to buy these cars pennies on the dollar. Brand new cars, you're going to pay pennies on the dollar. They're going to have to dump them. The courts are going to make them dump them. No big purchases right now. Don't pay off any debt. There's going to be a reset. It's a mathematical certainty. Whether it comes with Nasara or President Trump declares it, a reset is coming. All debt's going to be wiped out. You know, it's not a foreign concept. Look up the Jubilee. I mean, it's in the Bible. Every 50 years, there's a Jubilee. All debt wiped out. If you're a Christian, you should know that. Be prepared for anything, not just the the rioting and the looting. Um, be prepared for any last minute tricks. We've talked about, you know, the CGI they have. Um, the technology they control is mind blowing. I mean, 20 years ago, they had us believing that planes flew into the Twin Towers. Those weren't planes, those were missiles. It's a fact. We're going to find all this out. So if you see something, I don't care what it is, a second coming, alien invasion, use your critical thinking skills. Um, don't panic. Use your heads. Be prepared for anything. Part of being prepared for anything means that no matter what you see, you stay calm. Because panic or fear is your worst enemy, especially in what potentially could be a dangerous situation. Take a deep breath. Look at what's going on around you. Calmly pick a plan of action. Um, the flip side is you panic and run off a cliff. Panic is your worst enemy right now. So, and you have to think about these things. If you don't run these scenarios through your head, you're going to be more likely to panic because you know, it could be that quick. If you're not thinking about this stuff and have kind of a pre-plan based on different options, you're at a disadvantage, especially if you're not used to pressure situations. The more you think about it, the better you're going to handle it. So do that. Run these things through your head. If you get carjacked, if somebody kicks in your front door, I don't care what it is. Think about these things. Have a plan. You're seeing people get drug out of their cars almost every day now. What are you going to do when it happens? If you're smart, you're going to shoot them. You got to have a gun in the car. I live in Arizona now. I can conceal carry. It's constitutional carry. And that's how it should be nationwide. I hope President Trump puts out an executive order to allow it nationwide. But think about it this way. Would you rather have a ticket for having a gun in the car, or would you rather be murdered by a mob or badly injured, get the crap kicked out? I mean, just look at some of the footage here. I mean, 5, 6 guys jumping one, and not just beating him up, but knocking him unconscious and continuing to beat on him when they're on the ground defenseless. Kick him in the head, stomping on their heads. You want that? Is that your option? Is that your choice? Not mine. You try and pull me out of the car, you're dead. You're dead. And anybody with you better be running like hell. I won't shoot anybody in the back. But if you're coming at me, you're dead. It's that simple. You've been warned. I mean, just reading the signs, looking at what's going on in the world. You got to be an idiot not to look at what's happening in the markets around the world, going deeper than CNN or Fox News. You actually have to step in and do some work. You're not going to watch the news and get this stuff. You got to use your heads. You got to use your critical thinking skills. Everything I've been talking about. First ever worldwide economic collapse. Draining of the worldwide swamp. Exposure and eradication of satanic pedophiles. It's all happening. It's mind-boggling that people still don't get this. It's as clear as a nose on your face. Anybody who can't get on the right track in 30 minutes, call me and I'll put you on the right track. Because it is, if you're not getting it, you got to start questioning your intelligence. Because it is so brutally honest or obvious what's going on. Getting on to the headlines. One state, South Dakota, never locked down in South Dakota. And listen to what happened to them. Never locked down. They had 4 cases per 100,000 people. Not deaths, 4 cases per 100,000. Lowest in the nation. Also the lowest job losses in the nation. Are you happy that your governor or mayor locked you down? Again, there was a lot more behind this, but and it had to happen so that these traitors could be exposed. The liberals, the globalists, have exposed their socialist goals, their goals for communism in America. That's what they wanted. It's been a complete assault on our way of life, attacking everything, our faith, our values, our political system, everything. Time to stand up, guys. NPR, here we go, busted for framing a self-defense getaway from gun-toting protesters as white right-wing extremists. So it was basically Antifa, again, trying to pull a lady out of a car. She didn't have a gun, but and one of them did, and she hit one of them, and the guys who were trying to pull out of the car got arrested. But NPR was trying to frame this thing as it was us, conservatives, doing this. And this is why the media has to go. They got to be shut down. It's a matter of national security. And it's basically treason. Why are they doing these things? Why are they fabricating these stories? Is it for our good, you think? Or are they trying to destroy our country? Are they trying to take us down from the inside? Yeah, that's what they're trying to do, and they've been doing it for a long time. They work for the CIA. So, enough said. Get rid of all of them. Get rid of the mainstream media, get rid of the CIA, get rid of the FBI, the IRS, the CDC, Child Protective Services, WHO, World Health Organization, NATO, the UN, anything that George Soros funded, anything that the globalist agenda endorsed or funded needs to be eradicated. Time to wipe the earth clean of anything, even having a hint of globalism in it. They wanted to murder 7 billion people. They put it in writing. It's on the UN website. Look at Agenda 21, Agenda 21 on the UN website. They wanted a worldwide population of 500 million. It's 7.5 billion today. How does that happen? When the life expectancy is going up, how do you lose 7 billion people? You murder them. That's how you do it. You give them vaccines that are meant to kill them, not help them. Yeah, Gates is going to be executed. I think Fauci is going to be executed too. Rightfully so. Bolton. This is I think, I don't know if he did an interview or this came from the book. But think about this for a second. POTUS gave Netanyahu, Israel, the green light for preemptive Israeli strikes on Iran nuclear sites. Okay? Anybody have a problem with that? I don't. Good for you, President Trump. I mean, I'm not. I'm not rah pro-Israel. I'm on the fence with Israel to see how this plays out because there are white hat and black hat elements in Israel. So to me, it depends on who's got control of the country. If the white hats have control, I'm behind them 100%. If the black hats have control, screw Israel. They need to get their shit together. You know, get rid of the black hats like we are. Because we have got to end this. This is evil going. This is the final battle. Yeah. I put what's the problem? What's the problem with Israel bombing Iran's nuclear sites? No problem for me. Bomb away. After the lockdowns, the government fixes for the economy will make things even worse. Easy to predict high unemployment, but inflation isn't as certain. This is a zero hedge now. That's crazy. Inflation is a certainty. I've said this over and over and over again. You can't print fiat currency forever, and that's what you have to understand. The United States is a fiat currency. Up until 1971, the US dollar was backed by gold, which meant that we could not print any more money than we had gold to back up that money. Well, in 71, we went off the gold standard, which allowed unlimited money printing. That's how we got into this mess. It wasn't an accident that we got off the gold standard. We got off the gold standard to take us down. It worked. So the problem with fiat currencies is, number one, throughout history, there have been over 2,000 fiat currencies. The first one was about 1,000 years ago. 1050 in China was the first one. So over 2,000 now, in about 1,000 years, not one single currency, fiat currency, has survived. The average life expectancy for a fiat currency is 34 years. We're at 49 years on the US dollar. And printing like crazy. So yeah, two things are going to happen. We're going to have hyperinflation unless we declare a reset first, unless President Trump declares a reset. We're going to have hyperinflation, just like Zimbabwe, just like Weimar Germany, just like Venezuela. Going to happen here too, which means you're going to see pictures just like you did in Venezuela of people taking wheelbarrows full of cash to the grocery store to buy a loaf of bread. That's what's coming. Inflation, hyperinflation, is a certainty when you overprint a fiat currency. And you want to talk about overprinting? Here's something for you. The Fed balance sheet went from 870 billion in August of 07 to 7 trillion in June this year. And now we're printing $1 trillion a month to add to this. You don't see a problem? Hyperinflation is coming unless President Trump declares a reset. This economy is a mathematical certainty. There's no way to save this. You don't print money, economy collapses. You print too much money, the economy collapses. There's nothing they can do. It's coming down one way or the other. Nasara, with a reset, there's a reset with Nasara also. All debt's going to be wiped out. Or President Trump declares a reset. He will declare a reset. It's a certainty. He'll have to. There's no way to get around it. Nothing can stop it. No matter what we do, the damage has already been done. We can't recover. There's worldwide record debt. And I think it's 16 trillion in 3 months. 16 trillion in 3 months that the world has added to the worldwide debt. That's 20% of the worldwide GDP in 3 months. You cannot survive that. And plus, you shut the worldwide economy down for over 4 months. The damage has been done, guys. There's no way to save this. Get your money out now. Get it into physical silver and Litecoin or lose it. This is a gift from God. That this late in the game, that you can still get Litecoin under 50 and silver under 20 an ounce. They should both be way over $100 a piece. And climbing. Don't slap God in the face. Don't ignore this gift from God. Take advantage of it. If you don't, you're going to kick yourself for the rest of your life. Whenever has a common man been able to invest $50 to make $3 million? When? Never. Never going to happen again. This has never happened in history, and it will never happen again. This is the perfect storm. This is going to be the greatest transfer of wealth in human history. You want to be a part of it? Or you want to sit on the sidelines and cry because you didn't take advantage of it? Again, this is time to be bold, guys. And the globalists are trying to gin up more wars. Now it's Turkey and Egypt. You know, supposedly, I think Egypt declared war on Turkey. Anywhere they can. They're doing North and South Korea. Well, the China-India thing. Well, who knows? It's not going to happen. We're not going to have a world war. We might have some skirmishes, between countries. Nothing big. There's not going to be any world wars. There's not going to be any nuclear exchanges. We just need to get through this. Keep moving forward. Be prepared. Keep red pilling. The more people we get prepared for this, the easier it's going to be on President Trump, be less draining on the resources that he has to work with. We'll be able to help more people. That's the whole point of this. We've talked about getting extra of everything. Physical silver, Litecoin, extra food, extra water. Not just extra for us, but enough extra that we'll be able to help people maybe who couldn't prepare for whatever reason, because they didn't know about it, because they didn't have the money to prepare. We're going to be able to help those people by getting extra. Including a lot of liberals that are probably going to want to be our friends here pretty quick. And that's awesome. You know, we need to welcome them back. And nobody has taken more abuse from the liberals than I have in the last 6 years. And I don't hold a grudge to any of them. I don't care what they said about me. I don't care what they did. I got no hard feelings, you know. It's all good. It's what God wants. We need to pull together to get through this. That means we help our fellow Americans. Here we go again. The World Health Organization. Oh boy, we should listen to them. Reports the record single-day jump in virus infections, led by Brazil and the United States. Gee, what a surprise. Brazil, who there was just a report this last week out of a hospital in Brazil, oh my God, it's overrun. People are going to die because they don't have enough of this or that. The same thing happened, I think, in Ohio. The same kind of a claim, right? Almost identical. The next day, a citizen journalist snuck into the hospital. It was completely empty. There were no patients at all. Total fabrication, total lie by the media. Same exact thing happened in Brazil. They broke into the hospital. It was supposedly overrun. It was empty. Wasn't anybody even working there. Time to smarten up, guys. Yeah. Does anybody care what the World Health Organization thinks? I don't. I don't care what they're reporting because I know it's all lies, number one, and they're globalist. Gates is in the middle of it. He basically just funded him to keep him from going belly up, I think. They're done this year. World Health Organization's done. Because Gates is dead by the end of the year and his assets are seized. So who's going to fund him? And plus, who knows how many of them, most of them are probably going to be in jail anyway. Justice will be served. Rule of law is not only returning to America, but returning to the world. $500,000 are going to be arrested worldwide in the swamp takedown. 500,000 worldwide. 90% of the evil in the world is going to be eradicated. At the same time, the way is exploding. I didn't do my overview on the Watchman and the Watchman Way. I'll do it tomorrow. But for the new people, in January this year, God's called me twice, 2014, to be a watchman, to warn about the economy, the pedophiles, the swamp. In January this year, called me to lead the revival of the Way, which is the church that Jesus taught 2,000 years ago. Most pure form of religion in the world. Prove me wrong. You do the right thing every time. Tell the truth every time. Live your life in the service of others. Treat others with respect. No violence unless it's in self-defense. We're all the church. It's how we live our lives. It's not just going to a building a week and calling it good. God's not happy with that. That's not what God wants the church to be. We live the church every day and how we treat people and how we live our lives. That's what the church is supposed to be. It's in all of us. There's no priest. There's no pope. We're all the church. We're all equal. That's where we're headed. God showed me the Catholic Church is coming down this year. Coming down from the inside. The Pope will resign in 2020. It's going to be revealed that 50% of Catholic priests are pedophiles. 1.2 billion Catholics are going to be looking for a new home, and the Way is going to be there for them. And God showed me by 2040, the Way will be the biggest religion in the world. So think about that. 90% of the evil in the world eradicated. At the same time, the world's exploding with people wanting to live their life in the service of others. What kind of world do you think we're going to have? God showed me what kind of world we're going to have. Man's greatest age, 1,000 years of peace and prosperity. That's what we're headed for. What's there to be fearful of? Somebody please tell me. Because every day that goes by, I'm more elated by the things I see. Yet people seem to be more fearful. You're doing something wrong. If you're in fear right now, you're doing something wrong. Turn off the TV. Turn it off. Turn off mainstream. Turn off Fox. Fox is garbage. You watch an hour show to get 5 minutes worth of news. Why? Fox is run by globalists. They're sitting on the fence making money on advertising because it's the most conservative thing on TV. Quit watching TV. Do your own research. Get on the internet. Go to YouTube. People scoff, when I say that. I'm scoffing for morons watching Fox News and thinking they're getting the news. Or even worse, CNN or MSNBC. They're all lies. It's all propaganda. They're all run by the CIA. Why would you watch it? It's a waste of time. And it even if you know they're lies, it puts people in fear. It raises their blood pressure. Listening to lies. Why are you doing it? Why are you doing that to yourself? And if you're doing it to yourself, you're doing it to your family because it's putting you in the wrong place mentally. And then you're dealing with your family that way. Use your heads. Turn that crap off. Nine dead and 56 shot Father's Day weekend in Chicago, including a toddler, died. And you want gun control? Jesus. President Trump needs to write an executive order that gives everyone the right to defend themselves. Everyone who's legal to buy a gun. Let me change that. Everyone who's not guilty or convicted of a felony in America should be allowed, and I think will be allowed, to concealed carry anywhere in America. That's what we need. And I think that's what's coming. I think he's going to write an executive order to that effect and end all this crap about the Second Amendment. The states don't have any right to restrict our Second Amendment rights. That's going to end sometime during President Trump's presidency. It's going to be a matter of, does he do it right away with an executive order when we need it? Because we really need this right now. People need to be able to defend themselves. I don't care who you are. Like I said, I'll fight anybody anywhere. But 5 or 6 on one, I'm pulling my gun out. But you got to have it to pull it. The media begging for a second virus wave. Churning out countless alarmist stories each day about the virus. Do you think they're doing us any favors here? They're trying to put us in fear. That's what they want. They want us in fear. Because you don't think very well when you're fearful. Nothing to be fearful of, guys. We've talked about this. Part of being a watchman is being prepared mentally, physically, and spiritually. If you're doing God's work, what do you have to be fearful of? What's the worst thing that could happen to you? You could die, right? Anybody doing God's work, where do you think they're going to go? Are you fearful of that? I've said over and over, when we finally get to heaven, we're going to wonder why we fought so hard to stay on earth, because it's going to be so much better where we're going. Obviously, it's human nature. We all have that survival instinct. And personally, I want to see this thing through. I want to see it through to the end. It's going to be awesome, guys. This 10-year period, the last 5 years and the next 5 years, going to be the most studied period in world history. For thousands of years, they're going to study this. There's going to be more change in this 10 years than 1,000,000 years of history. Amazing stuff is coming, guys. The cure for virtually every ailment known to man. 0-point energy solves virtually every problem we have on Earth. Water problems, food problems are solved with 0-point energy. No more third world countries. You're going to manufacturing plant anywhere in the world with 0-point energy. You can put up desalination plants every 20 miles on every coast in the world. The whole world would be a paradise. There would be no deserts unless you wanted them, because you have unlimited water with 0-point energy. They don't have many desalination plants because it's so expensive to run them because of the power. Well, if you got free power, you can make a desert an oasis, a breadbasket. Make it the San Joaquin Valley in California. You can do that anywhere with water. I mean, California was mostly desert before they started bringing water to Southern California. If you don't have water, you don't have farming. We have unlimited water. You can have farming anywhere. This is what's coming. What is there to be fearful of? Got to think these things through, guys. They want to throw out all kinds of garbage that when you hear it, oh, wow, that sounds horrible. If you don't analyze it, you understand, well, yeah, but it sounds horrible, but there's zero chance of it happening. So why would you be fearful about it? I must hear 5 or 6 different things every single day. People are afraid of. And I'm going, what the hell are you thinking? Think it through. What are the possibilities of it happening? Just name something, and I'll shoot holes in it. Because there's nothing that's coming that we need to be fearful about. They've been neutralized. They got nothing left. The globalists, the deep state, the black hats, the Illuminati, cabal, whatever you want to call them. They're all the same people. But they're finished. They had their chance and they blew it. God and President Trump had other plans. God wins every time. Why are you doubting that? How can you be an American and a Christian and doubt? If you don't see God's hands on this, you're not much of a Christian. Because they're all over this. We don't get to this point without God being behind us 100%. Without God guiding and protecting President Trump. It doesn't happen without God. I want to smack people sometimes. Because you should know better. Seattle official peddles conspiracy theory that the CHOP shooting, they found somebody was shot there in Seattle. It was a right-wing attack. Yeah, right. If it was a right-wing attack, there had been a lot more of them dead. Oh, here we go. Worldwide, 18 trillion in stimulus in 3 months worldwide. 3 months. They pumped 18 trillion to keep this thing going worldwide. 20% of the worldwide GDP. It's ridiculous. Unbelievable. This is happening. David Stockman. The Feds unleashed speculation and malinvestment on a biblical scale. Despite the unrest in America and economic damage from shutdowns, the stock market continues to rally. Does that make any frickin' sense? It seems markets don't reflect earnings, economic prosperity, or growth. What's going on? There's no rhyme or reason to this. Everything's falling apart, but the stock market keeps going up. Explain it. Total manipulation. That's the only way to explain it. Quantitative easing. Free money. That's not really free. Okay. Before I have another stroke, we're going to questions. Randy, how you doing? John, what's up? Jerry and his other brother Gary. Roxanne, how are you? Dennis, we got the show going tonight. Turn it up. Randy has her first silver order on its way. Good job, Randy. Keep buying. Carol, hello. Oh, it's David. David, did Facebook ground you? Thanks, David. Shelly, what's up? Yeah, we're starting to see the run on toilet paper again, guys. I mean, think about this. Are you going to eat the toilet paper? I just don't understand it. It's the thing that makes the least amount of sense. I mean, in a pinch, you can get by without toilet paper, guys. I just don't understand what the hell's going on with these people. Just if that's what you think is the most important thing to prepare with, you need to go to the Watchman page. You need to go back and watch the previous episodes because you're way off track. Yeah, Dennis, turn it up, buddy. Jesse, hello. Yeah, so Randy's saying some people she talks to are ready for the red pill, and some are afraid. And listen, try doing this 6 years ago. 1 out of 1,000 was ready for a red pill. Now, probably half the people are ready if you hit them at the right time. Um, we're seeing a big shift, guys, because even the liberals are starting to see that something is really wrong here, and they're actually looking for information. They just don't know where to go to find it. Right now in Italy, they are going sideways because they've realized that the virus was all a scam, and they're going batshit crazy in Italy. I think I posted a Zero Hedge article. Look for it on the Watchman or Watchman Way pages, or just go to Zero Hedge. I don't believe the Gates has been executed yet. I think last I heard he was under house arrest. Listen, Gates is a dead man. I don't care whether he's dead right now. He will be dead by the end of the year. That's all I care about. Mike Janman here, guys. Get your colloidal silver from Mike Janman. It's a fraction of what it cost at GNC. Makes it himself. Good quality stuff. Everybody should have colloidal silver in their emergency medical kits. It's a natural antibiotic. Patty, hello. Brian, what's up? Yeah, that's Roxanne is expressing what I just expressed earlier. It's hard to imagine that people are still asleep with everything going on and all the contradictions. You got to start out if you're intelligent, and that's why I keep questioning people's IQ at this point. Because if you got any kind of intelligence at all, you got to be asking yourself questions here. Something's wrong. Nothing jives anymore. It doesn't make sense. And when it doesn't make sense, you got to start asking yourself, what is happening? I don't know whether it's just plain stupidity or just ignorance. Being ignorant doesn't mean you're stupid, just means you're uneducated. But at some point, with all these warning signs, it's not a good judge of your intelligence if you're missing all these warning signs. An intelligent person starts to question things. Yeah, Patty's talking about some of the videos that have been out. Supposedly, Obama's executed. Uh, Michael Obama was supposed to get a lethal injection. These people are going one way or another, guys. I don't really care when they do. Just the fact that it's happening is all I care about at this point. I don't care when it happens, just that it's happening. Yeah, I am also really encouraged by the the acceleration of people who are red pilling. It's, I mean, that's why I keep saying every day I see more things that are more than encouraging, that show me that it's all happening right now. The rabbit hole goes deep, but you don't have to have the whole thing to understand there's a problem. Um, it takes years of years and a lot of hours to get to everything. Trust me, I know. Um, but you don't have to have it all. You just need to know there's a problem, and you need to do something about it. You can learn all the details later, right? You need to act now. That's why we're doing what we're doing, guys. That's why red pilling and preparing is the most important thing that anyone could be doing right now. There's nothing more important than you could be doing right now. If your goal is to help your fellow man, if your goal is to live your life in service of others, there is no more important thing you'll ever do in your life than the things you can accomplish between now and when this all blows up. We're changing families' lives forever when we red pill them. Think about it. There are gardeners and janitors who are going to be multimillionaires overnight virtually because of what they learned here. When have you ever been able to impact anybody's life like that? Never. So take advantage of this, because you're never going to have an opportunity like this again. You're always going to be able to help people, and we're going to do that forever. But you're never going to have as big an impact as you are right now. Because remember, this multiplies. Because the more I have, the more of us that are doing this, it's a numbers game. Exponentially, it grows. 5 people tell 5 people who tell 5 people who tell 5 people, and on and on and on. Tens of thousands now, the watchmen have prepared for this. How many millionaires have we created that are going to be paying it forward to God's church, to building the foundation of the way? Trillions of dollars. Yes, I'm not Shelley's dad, by the way, guys. Yeah, the mainstream media wants a second wave badly. Not going to get it. They try to fabricate it. Kathy, how you doing? Oh, happy Father's Day. I was so riled up, forgot all about it. Patty, how you doing? Sister-in-law Heidi, how's it going? Uh, well, Heidi's asking why we haven't stopped the destruction of all the statues. Uh, I believe we can always replace those statues, guys. What President Trump wanted, he wanted these people to expose themselves to the American public, all of them. The whole crew. From Antifa and BLM all the way up to Pelosi, Schumer, and AOC, and all these other clowns, Gates, Fauci. on all levels, right? In the media, the CDC, every place they could. They wanted the American people to see who these people really were. We'll replace the statues. Um, this was huge in exposing these people. Most, here's the bottom line. Most liberals, Democrats, are moderates. What they're seeing right now is driving thousands every day away from the Democratic Party. I keep saying, it doesn't make any difference what happens from here on out. President Trump wins the election with 90% of the vote. I don't care. Throw up any scenario you want. He wins 90% of the vote in 2020. End of story. Biden, oh Jesus, the guy's a functional retard. He's either got Alzheimer's or Kuru disease. Look up Kuru disease. Same thing Hillary had. Same thing I think Pelosi has. When they cackle, it's from eating infected human brain tissue. That's how you get it. No, I think. Listen, they would have loved if Michelle Obama was really a woman. She'd have been the candidate without question. They knew they couldn't run her out there because they knew that she would be exposed. He would be exposed, and there would be no chance to win the election. That's the only reason that he isn't in there. And he, like I said, I think before the election, if he's not dead, we'll be dead very soon. Also rumored that Biden has been executed. Remember, guys, body doubles and clones. Every prominent politician has got a body double, including President Trump. Probably has 2 or 3. Hillary Clinton had 2 or 3 at least. Shelley is scared of herself. Okay. Not sure why. Well, here, Randy's talking about and this is I've been saying this. The satanic pedophilia, the most disturbing thing about it, I mean, it's very disturbing that it's happening, obviously. But the most disturbing thing about it is the scope. How many people are involved in it and who these people are. It's thousands of the most powerful people in the world that are doing this. That's the scary thing about it. Terrific. And what's scary is not seeing an end in sight. That's why I had my stroke, because I internalize this stuff. I've been saying forever, if you knew what I know, you would all be angry. I've known this stuff for a long time, and it ate me up. I mean, I couldn't, and I didn't realize it was happening. I was so enmeshed in this, basically 16, 20 hours a day, and so driven to try and push to end it, and really not having the control to do it, right? I mean, none of us are going to decide when these people are executed or when it's revealed that they've been arrested, when it stops. But it is stopping. And that's where I think it makes it easier for the new people Because when I did, there was no end in sight. It didn't look very good. It looked like it could continue forever. It looked like they might win. Now, they're done. This is over. So at least the people coming in have that comfort to know, well, it's horrible that went on, but at least it's ending. We didn't know that or know when it was going to happen. I mean, I knew eventually that we were going to defeat this evil. And I've said before, I agonized over this for months, trying to figure out the best way we could defeat this evil and not destroy half the world doing it and lose half the world's population. Anyway I looked, it looked like hundreds of millions of people were going to die. And look where we are today. I mean, this is over. And most of the world doesn't even know what was going on. So trust me, it's a lot better to go that way and then find out about it after it's over. Oh, what do you mean? There were satanic pedophiles? What were they doing? I mean, think about it. Wouldn't you rather have it go down that way? I mean, it's kind of a double-edged sword because they're going to miss out on being prepared because obviously they didn't know what was happening. They're not going to have physical silver or Litecoin. It's a trade-off, guys. I would much rather be in the position I was in and knowing about it and being able to try and do something about it than to, have my head buried in the sand and not realize what was happening. That's the other thing, guys. You gotta, as I learned, you gotta step away from it a little bit and give yourself a break, because being under this pressure day after day after day after day, it will impact your health. Trust me, I know. Judy, how you doing? Yeah, again, guys, I do not care when any of them get executed. Just the fact that we know it's coming is good enough for me. I'm waiting for the announcement from either President Trump or Barr that I think's coming by mid-July that these people have been arrested. And maybe, hopefully, many of them have been executed. That's the first finish line for us. Shelley's a God-fearing watchwoman with a sig and an attitude. That's exactly what we want right now, Shelley. Good job. Remember, guys, get out and shoot. Get some practice in this week. Gun's not going to... Listen, trust me. If you're in a situation where you've got to use that gun, you're going to feel a lot better about it if you've been out doing some practice shooting. And here's the other thing, guys. There's a lot of things you can do. You don't have to go out and shoot. Just, everybody needs to figure out how they're going to carry their gun. Unload your gun. Double check that it's unloaded. And then practice drawing, aiming, firing. Dry firing. Not really firing. Dry firing, which means you're pulling the trigger when the gun's empty. So you get used to that motion, because especially with some of these sights, it takes a second to get your sight lined up. That second could cost you your life. So the more fluid it is, the more practiced it is, the better you're going to be at it when it comes time, the less nervous you're going to be about it. When you're nervous, you're more likely to fumble. You don't want to fumble in a life or death situation. When you're pulling your gun, you shouldn't pull it unless it's a life or death situation or very close to that, right? Potential to be a life or death situation. But everybody should be doing that every day. Practice drawing and firing. Dry firing. Patty, how you doing? Yeah. When somebody tells me to wear a mask to protect others, I tell them to screw off. Mind their own frickin' business. Good job, Lance. Dennis is running out of bug spray. Can we get an emergency delivery to Dennis for some bug spray? He's got to keep that broadcast going. Torture those neighbors. Chrissy, how you doing? Well, you have to remember, Chrissy's asking why President Trump said the 401k and all would be okay and would even go up. President Trump is playing a role right now. We know for a fact he said many things since the election that he knew weren't true. I mean, just think about the economy. What did he say during the campaign from day one? We're in a huge bubble. It's gonna explode. He knows it's going to explode. But since he's been president, what has he been saying? Economy's great. He had to do that. Just like he's saying the 401ks. Now, the caveat here may be that he knows that Nasara is going to happen. If Nasara happens, the 401ks will be okay and may go up. Pension funds are going to be okay if Nasara happens. I'm like I said, I hope it does, but I'm on the fence. I've known about this program for years. There have been many deadlines that the SAR was going to be rolled out, never materialized. That's why I'm on the fence. It could happen. I hope it does. If it does, it's icing on the cake, but you can't depend on it. If it does happen, yes, pension funds are going to be okay. 401ks are going to be okay. But listen, if it doesn't, you got physical silver Litecoin. I would rather have that situation, obviously, for me personally. My niece and nephew, Alan and Michelle, what's up? Just had their 32nd wedding anniversary, I think. Congratulations, guys. Turlock, California today. A woman was arrested in Walmart for not wearing a mask. Another reason why I left California. Happy to be gone for now. Yeah, listen. There's no the thing that probably the thing that ticks me off the most is Christians or patriots questioning President Trump. What are your options? Explain that to me. It's either President Trump or who? Biden? There's no backup plan here. I believe in President Trump 1,000%. He is, God showed me, he is who we think he is. That doesn't mean he's not playing a role. It's all part of the plan. Trust the plan. This is all going better than I could have ever imagined it, guys. It's amazing. And you know, Dave's got a point. Sometimes people don't get the whole red pill, right? That's okay. Get them as far as we can get them. Yeah, all this stuff eventually would go to the Supreme Court. Keisha, how you doing? MD, how you doing? Laura, hello. Ordered her ledger today. Good job, Laura. Well, people don't want to be uncomfortable, you know. Listen, part of life is being uncomfortable, you know. Uh, Better to be uncomfortable than dead. You share. Listen, these videos, these live chats are to be shared as much as you can share them. That's how we get more people involved, guys. Share these videos. Two things you can do: share the live chats and invite all of your friends. Go write down your friends list. Invite every single person to the Watchman page or the Watchman Way page. This is a numbers game. The more people that we get in to our groups, the Watchman page and the Watchman Way page, the more people that get red pilled. We're going to find out. The only way we're going to find out is when they announce it. And I think the announcements are coming in the next couple of weeks. I think, again, by mid-July, I think it's going to be announced that this is happening and that many executions have probably already taken place. That's when we know for sure. And I don't care. I don't care how many reports there are until I hear it from President Trump or Barr. I'm not buying it. Well, I should say I'm not buying it. I don't care. Because until it's announced by them, it doesn't really matter. Because that's when the world believes it, is when it comes from President Trump or from Barr. Allison is saying she always wanted to be used by God for a greater purpose. Every single watchman is doing God's work. Every single watchman is not just a bystander, but is taking an active role in the greatest accomplishment of mankind. This will go down without question as mankind's greatest accomplishment. We're saving the world here, guys. This is no small feat. And it's the biggest upset in world history. When President Trump took office, there were more globalists in our government than there were patriots. We should not be winning this thing. The odds were stacked against us like you can't believe. And here we are. Victory is ours. It's just, when is it going to be announced? That's all we're waiting on. Round trip tickets, $150 from Mesa to Rapid City. Okay, what's going on there? Somebody want me to go to Rapid City? Thanks, Dennis. Yeah, look at David here. Guys, bug out bag. Everybody should have a bug out bag. Tony, what's up? You're welcome, buddy. Good night, Deborah. Yeah. Uh, DK's talking about retrograde, the planets. Mercury in retrograde. 5 planets will be in retrograde the next 3 months. The last time that happened was 9/11. A lot of changes are coming, guys. Going to be wild and all good. Summer solstice, yeah. Another. These people love their dates. Um, Suzanne, how you doing? Their game is done, guys. Yeah. There's still people that believe Michael Obama is a woman. Yeah. Camilla Harris, what an idiot. Yeah, they're going to come for us when they get the White House back. Guess what, Camilla? You're going to be dead. Well, number one, the Democrats will never get the White House back, and you're going to be dead by the end of the year. Another traitor that will be executed. Keep talking, guys. Don't be deterred by the negative reactions you get from people. That's part of what we do. Just keep going. Have faith that you're doing the right thing and keep plugging. Keep moving forward. Don't be discouraged. Thank you, Arca. Yep, it is disgusting that the pedophilia is still going on. But trust me, it is at a highly reduced number, percentage-wise. It's almost over. In fact, for practical purposes, it may be over. Remember, 800,000 kids a year were being taken just in America. That's not a mistake. Look it up. And you wonder, well, why wasn't the mainstream media or the politicians talking about it? Because they were involved in it. They knew what was happening. Remember, Chris Cuomo, Jake Tapper, Don Lemon all went to Pedo Island. And you wonder why they were screaming so loud? Because they know what's coming. Either they get President Trump out or they're all going to hang. Guess what? They're all going to hang. Just the fabric. Jesus. Yeah. And there's a bunch of those pictures of Michael adjusting himself on camera, on video. That's cognitive dissonance right there, where they can't, it doesn't compute. Their perceived reality is contradicted by the truth, and they can't process it. Yeah, listen, guys, it's hard to believe this stuff. Trust me. I know. And that's why I say question everything, including me. That's how you get to the truth. You question everything. You use your critical thinking skills. I keep saying the most important thing I can teach any of you guys is to use your critical thinking skills. That's how we protect ourselves from this ever happening again. And of course, the watchmen are here for eternity. We are going to be on the wall making sure that this never happens again. Anytime this evil rears its ugly head again, we will chop it off immediately. We're never going to allow them to get the foothold they got this time. This was their one and only shot, and it's over. Jeff, what's up? Tommy actually worked in a child sex trafficking safe house. Talk to Tommy. She could probably tell you some stories. Yeah, that's a good point, Lisa. And I try and mention this at least every couple of weeks. We all need to stop for a second and appreciate where we are right now. That'll help you kind of rejuvenate yourselves. Take an afternoon or a day or even a couple of days and just look at what we've accomplished in 4 years from when President Trump basically announced to where we are today. Look at where the world was then, 4 or 5 years ago, and where we are today. And then think of where we're going to be in 6 months. It's there's no way God isn't involved in this. Yeah, Patricia's got exactly what I'm talking about. Figure out where you're going to carry your gun and then you draw from that position every time. Yeah, and David's talking about do it in front of a mirror. Yeah. Roxanne talking about how she found us. Um, Hardly any. I talked to a lot of watchmen. How did they find us? How did they get here? I don't know that I've ever talked to one of them, one of you guys, that can actually remember. God has you here for a reason. If you're here at the Watchman, you're here because you're supposed to be a part of this. Cecil, how you doing? Uh, haven't heard anything about BLM back in DC. Wouldn't surprise me. Not worried about it. Yeah, POTUS is dropping a lot of clues, I think. A lot of breadcrumbs. Good job, Tina. Don't forget your SIG. SIG P365 SAS. David also has a hatchet. Okay, David. I'll stick to my Hellcat. Less exertion. I put Shelly to sleep the first time she listened to me. Huh. Good job, Jeff. Got more Litecoin, sounds like. Yeah, we're going long again today. Wow. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here. Let me get through these questions. Yeah, boycott the mask. I put a couple of posts out today. Boycott it. Time for this bullshit to stop. Yeah, President Trump, listen, God showed me his hand on President Trump, guiding and protecting him. That's good enough for me. I have zero doubts about President Trump. Yeah, Berman got the axe. The guy that worked at the Southern District of New York, I think, prosecutor, federal prosecutor. You see that sun orb? Kind of crazy, huh? Yeah. Uh, no, that's a good question. So Judy's asking if Pence was arrested or executed already, who's the vice president? Probably the body double of Pence until the election. Yeah, that's a huge gray area there. Good night, Paris. Oh, I got you. Oh, to go to Mount Rushmore. Well, the tickets are going to be the problem, right? I've heard all the tickets for Mount Rushmore are already gone. I'm thinking I'm just going to hunker down here in Mesa and see how it plays out. Robbie, how you doing? Yeah, you notice the chatter from the celebrities has really slowed down, hasn't it? I wonder why. You're welcome, Roxanne. Yeah, that was really tough duty. Um, Recruiting the other night. It's been one of the few perks of this job. There haven't been many up to this point, guys. Cody, what's up? Thank God for President Trump. That's for sure, Robbie. Yeah, that's listen, guys. I thank God every day um, for putting me on this path. I've said it's the hardest thing I've ever done in my life, and it's by far the most rewarding thing I've ever done, and I would do it again in a heartbeat. So don't think that I don't appreciate what all you guys are doing, what we've accomplished, what we're going to accomplish in the future. This isn't over, guys. This is just the beginning. God showed me there are big things coming for the Watchmen. This is just the start. We're going to change the world. The Watchmen are going to change the world. That's going to happen. We're going to end hunger. We're going to end homelessness. The Watchmen are going to do these things. We're going to lead the revival of the way. I mean, just think about the significance of that, about a religion like that, where people are living their lives in the service of others when basically there's no more evil in the world. That's how we get man's greatest age. Glad you're here, Shelley. Yeah, um, Mark is mentioning, and I've heard this from a lot of people, that after they found the Watchmen, things became easier, um, didn't have as much anxiety or stress. We're doing good work here, guys. You just got to keep it up. Keep red pilling and preparing. Yeah. God has brought you here, guys. Lance has got his throwing axe in his truck. Yeah, show up with that thing at an Antifa rally. Watch him scatter. Oh God, they'd be more afraid of that than the 9 millimeter. Yeah. Okay. So good point, Suzanne. We're still looking for volunteers. People who can help with ledger setup, who can help with Litecoin silver, people with questions. Um, Kevin is really buried right now. We need at least one or two people to help him, help these new members. Also need firearms instructors all around the country. So anybody who has those skills, call me or Kevin so we can hook you up with the people that need the help. Start paying it forward now, guys. If you have those skills, please get a hold of us. We need a lot of help. We're starting to get buried. Yeah. Berman is a snake. Again, executed. Laura Lowe. Yeah, Becky's saying in qmap.pub, Pence is listed as a patriot. Pence is a pedophile. Go back, look at the Q post. Q has said there will be disinformation spread because they don't want the bad guys knowing everything. They got to sprinkle in disinformation. There have been lies by both Q and President Trump. It's all part of the plan. Yeah. Yeah. Celebrities are in lockdown. Carla's daughter lives in Mesa. Jimmy Kimmel quit. Jimmy Kimmel's another one, guys. I'm glad you found us, Wendy. Thank you, Allison. Yeah, don't kneel. Listen, guys, time to get back to who we are. We don't kneel. We don't bow down. You want a problem with us? It's not going to end well. Well, listen, I don't know. You don't have to be certified to be an instructor with a watchman. You got to know what you're talking about. You've got to been trained. I went through police training. To get my degrees. Obviously, we've got a lot of ex-military here that are more than qualified. So you don't need to be certified, guys. We're just trying to get people to be gun safe and understand what their responsibilities are and how to do things the right way and keep themselves out of trouble. Cousin Bill, how you doing? Good night, Roxanne. Okay, Jeff. Anybody who can help out, get a hold of Kevin or I. Kevin's number is 702-325-9258. My number is 707-696-4188. Anybody that can help with either the Litecoin, Silver, Ledger, or firearms training, get a hold of Kevin or I, please. Thanks, Jeff. Yeah, get a hold of me, guys. Anybody that can help. Well, David, I think you probably have most skills than most of the people, but yeah, a lot of this stuff can be over the phone, guys. I mean, even the firearms training, it's better to talk people through this than for them to have zero help at all. So we don't necessarily have to meet. I mean, that's the optimum, right? Eventually, I want to have enough firearm instructors so that anywhere in the country, we'll be able to point somebody to someone who can take them to a range. Right now, that's probably not going to happen, but whatever we can do, we need to do. Okay, that's it. This is a long one tonight, guys. Might be one of our longest. Okay, just a sign of the times. Any day or week. Remember, I think President Trump would like to get the economy at least into July. That doesn't mean it's going to happen. This economy is so weak worldwide, it could go down any day. So don't procrastinate. Anything you need to do, phone calls, texts, red pilling, preparing yourself. Get it done now. Literally, it could happen tomorrow. Every person matters. Every day matters. Let's keep pushing till the end. I'm going to leave it there for tonight with our prayer. For God and country, amen. We'll see you tomorrow night at 5 Pacific. God bless.